Guilty of drunken dialing where they won't return your phone calls anymore? What this is we start to feel that we're okay with a breakup, and we go out for a few drinks with some friends, and before you know it, it's 3 o'clock in the morning, and we're drunk and calling our ex and meandering all about. Believe me, that doesn't work. That's not going to get them to come back to you or to return your calls. Been there. How about calling your ex several times a day? That doesn't work either, just harassing them. Have you been text messaging and emailing constantly? They call that text message terrorism. Same thing as calling your ex several times a day. It's not going to work. Are you constantly checking your email and voicemail to see if he or she called? And they haven't? If you want to get your ex to return your calls, there are some magic words that will work when nothing else will. And I mean, these work great nearly every time. But first, let's cover what almost never works, and worse, will put you in an awful psychological position. The types of message to avoid usually falls into one of two categories. The plead, this is the type of call that usually sounds like, "John, please call me. This is the third time I've called. I have to talk to you." Or the emergency. "Cindy, this is an emergency. Please call me as soon as you get this." Both are doomed to failure, and it doesn't take a whole lot of thought to figure out why, so I'm not going to harp on that. So what do you do? To get your ex to return your calls is really very simple. Two of the most powerful forces in the human mind are curiosity and self-interest. The big secret is when you combine the two, it becomes almost magical and works nearly every time. Warning: please have an underlying strategy before you call. If you apply this technique with no underlying strategy, when they call you back, you can do more damage than good if you don't handle it correctly. In other words, what you do before, during, and after you get them to call is more important than actually getting them to return your call. That's the easy part. But here's how to get them to return your call. Here's what you can say that works nearly every time. In a friendly tone, you call them up, and I'm assuming that they're not answering your calls. That's why you're interested in this. So you call them up and leave this message. "Hi John, it's Cindy," or the other way around, "Hi Cindy, it's John. I wanted to let you know I appreciate what you did for me. Call me because I want to thank you in person." And that's it. You hang up, and that's it. Do not be tempted to say anything more. Just say those words exactly and hang up. Do you see how that uses both curiosity and self-interest? John will not be able to resist. He will be thinking, or she will be thinking, "What did I do? What does she appreciate?" Plus, since it's a positive message and not badgering them, he'll be feeling pretty good. Now remember the warning though. Before you call, you have to do the setup work. And that's figuring out what he or she did that you appreciate. Now during your time together, I'm sure they did something that you appreciated. It can be any small thing. It doesn't have to be some major event, but it does have to be plausible. When you say that you appreciated that, they have to listen to you and say, yeah, they did appreciate that.